What if I told you that the biggest thing ruining your life isn't your enemies, isn't your background, isn't your bad luck, it's the story you keep telling yourself, the quiet excuses, the repeated doubts, the belief that maybe success just isn't meant for you. Daniel believed that story too. He believed the world was unfair. He believed other people were lucky. He believed he had been left behind. And for a long time, his life obeyed that belief. But everything changed the day that story changed. If you love powerful stories that challenge your mindset and push you to grow, make sure you subscribe now and become part of Storyverse Haven so you never miss the next story that might shift the way you see your own life. Now listen carefully. There was once a young man named Daniel who believed the world was against him. He was 27, broke, jobless, and exhausted from trying. Every morning, he would sit outside a small roadside cafe, watching expensive cars pass by. He hated them. He hated the drivers. He hated their confidence. He hated their success. Some people are just lucky, he would whisper. I was never meant for greatness. And slowly, that belief became his identity. He applied for jobs half-heartedly. He started businesses but quit at the first obstacle. He blamed the economy. He blamed his background. He blamed his family. He blamed everything except himself. But what people didn't see was the silent war inside him. Daniel wasn't lazy. He was discouraged. Every rejection email felt like confirmation that he wasn't good enough. Every friend's success felt like proof that he was behind. Every family gathering felt like an interrogation. So what are you doing now? Have you found something stable yet? You're not getting younger, you know? Those words echoed louder than any alarm clock. At night, he would lie awake staring at the ceiling, replaying his failures like a broken movie. He had tried a small clothing business once, quit after 3 months because sales were slow. He tried learning graphic design, stopped when the software felt too complicated. He tried waking up early, lasted 4 days. Each time he failed, he told himself, "See, this is not for you." Until one afternoon, an old street cleaner sat beside him. The man had wrinkled hands and tired eyes, but he was smiling. Daniel scoffed. "What are you smiling at? There's nothing to smile about in this life." The old man looked at him calmly and asked one question. "Who told you that your life was supposed to be easy?" Daniel frowned. The cleaner continued, "I sweep these streets every day, not because I love sweeping, but because I love feeding my family. If I waited for perfect conditions, we would starve." Daniel stayed silent. Then the old man said something that pierced his heart. "Your problem is not your situation. Your problem is your story about your situation." That sentence followed Daniel home. But this time, instead of scrolling on his phone to distract himself, he sat with the discomfort. He replayed the conversation over and over. Your problem is your story. For the first time in years, Daniel questioned himself. What if the world wasn't against him? What if he had been quitting too soon? What if success wasn't about talent, but endurance? The next morning, something shifted. He didn't suddenly get money. He didn't suddenly get opportunities. But he changed how he showed up. Instead of sitting at the cafe complaining, he went home and wrote down one question. What can I control? The list was short. His time, his effort, his attitude, his skills. That was it. So he started small, very small. He created a daily routine, nothing dramatic. Wake up at 6:30. Read 10 pages of a book. Apply for 5 jobs. Practice one skill for 2 hours. That was it. And the first week, it was hard. His mind kept whispering, "This won't work. You've tried before. Don't embarrass yourself again." But this time, Daniel didn't argue with the voice. He acted anyway. By week 3, something subtle happened. He started respecting himself. Not because he had results, but because he was keeping promises to himself. He stopped chasing 10 ideas at once. He chose one skill, digital marketing. Every single day he studied. Free tutorials, free online courses, podcasts while walking. He practiced by helping small local businesses for free. The first shop owner rejected him. The second ignored him. The third said, "Fine, but I'm not paying you." Old Daniel would have walked away. New Daniel said, "Deal." For 3 months he worked for free. He made mistakes. He got frustrated. He almost quit twice. But he remembered the old man sweeping the streets. Who told you it was supposed to be easy? 6 months later, nothing dramatic had happened. But everything had changed. He spoke differently. He carried himself differently. He thought differently. His confidence wasn't loud. It was built quietly. One day, the same business owner who once refused to pay him said, "Your marketing brought me customers. How much do you charge?" Daniel froze. It was the first time someone saw value in his work. He named a small fee. The man agreed. That small payment changed everything. Not because of the money, but because of the proof. He wasn't useless. He wasn't unlucky. He wasn't cursed. He was just impatient before. 1 year later, he got his first stable job. 2 years later, he started a small side business. But this time, when sales were slow, he didn't quit. When clients complained, he improved. When fear whispered, he worked. 3 years later, he was driving one of the cars he once hated. But the car wasn't the victory. The victory was the discipline, the consistency, the mindset. The victory was the day he stopped blaming the world, because that was the day he took control. Daniel eventually found the old street cleaner again. This time, he didn't sit beside him in frustration. He stood beside him in gratitude. "Your words changed my life," Daniel said. The old man smiled. "I didn't change your life," he replied. "You decided to. And here's the truth. Your life doesn't change when your circumstances change. Your life changes when your standards change. Success is not built in comfort. It is built in repetition. The world is not against you, but it will not move for you either. The moment you decide to stop being a victim, you become powerful. And sometimes, all it takes is one shift in mindset,